medical and paramedical staff members are continually declining. Most of them have been murdered or kidnapped by the Israeli forces. 37 international NGOs have been banned from operating. Cancer patients, ICU patients, people with chronic condition as well cannot be treated. Not because the medicines don't exist, but because the siege will not allow them in. This is a policy decision, not a logistical problem. People are dying on waiting lists. 18,500 patients approved by the WHO are waiting for medical evacuation. Over 4,000 of them are children. I'm a pediatrician and I will definitely fight for them. The Israeli regime confirmed to its own high court in January 2026 that it will not allow patients to travel to hospital in the West Bank, a journey of a few hours. There is no medical justification for this. There is no security justification for this. It's a collective punishment. We have to emphasize that just a few days ago, 5 patients were on their way to be evacuated for treatment, were targeted, and they were martyred immediately. That's why the WHO has prohibited the evacuation of any patients at the present time. The tragic stories of Hind, Rima, Nisri, Nuh, Akram, and all the innocent children are a nightmare for me. And that's why I decided to act as a professional of childhood. This is why we act. When governments and institutions fail to uphold their obligations, people inherit that responsibility. The Doctor to Gaza mission and the global Sumud Flotilla as well exist because inaction is a complicity. We are not waiting for permission to act, we are acting because the evidence demands it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ina. On the 30th of past month, our mission was illegally intercepted. We were illegally abducted 700 nautical miles away from the shores of Gaza. We have spent the time since then talking to our people, reviewing the work that our colleagues are doing on land, reviewing the work that our colleagues doing with the political pressure to decide what we do next, as we have committed. Yesterday, we had our collective General Assembly with all the participants, with the captains, with the crew, with the working groups, with the steering committee members, privately for several hours, reviewing our options, reviewing what we do. Let's no mistake, the Israeli Authority, the genocidal government of Israel, is a brutal force of violence. They have no respect for human rights. They have no respect for international law. Taking all that in consideration, taking in consideration what has been going on in Palestine for the past years, we have decided to continue. So I am here to officially announce that tomorrow our mission will continue to Gaza.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
54 boats, including 5 boats from our colleagues in the coalition of Freedom Flotilla, with more than 500 brave souls, are going to depart from Marmaris, reaching to the shores of Gaza.
Inshallah. Palestine! Palestine!
Thank you.
Palestine!
During the interrogation, one of the Shabak agents told me that some of the other occupations around the world do not exist because they have managed to kill all the indigenous people. That during this genocide, they have done their best to kill as many Palestinians in Gaza as possible, and they only managed to kill 100,000 Palestinians, and they finished their bombs. Let's make no mistake. What Israel has been doing in the past 3 years, they have been doing in the past 78 years. They are dedicating their time, effort, and energy to eliminate the Palestinian people. We sail one day before Al-Nakba, not only to commemorate the anniversary of the Nakba, but to act on it. Because celebrating anniversaries do not prevent crimes to happen. Acting does. We sail on this day because Israel intentionally is implementing a slow genocide that is starving the Palestinian people to death in Gaza. Implementing a colonial process in the West Bank that aims to displace the Palestinian people. And we heard a few weeks ago from Dr. Mustafa Barghouti saying very clear that Palestinian struggle continue because Palestinians are tied to their land. Because we are like the olive trees. We do not abandon our land. That's why our struggle still living. That's why Palestine is still there. So we sail because there are people in Palestine who are inspiring us with their resilience, with their resistance for the past 78 years. We are very clear about the risks that we might face as a movement, as participants. We are very clear about the brutality of this genocidal government. We have seen it happening one after the other. And we are clear about our response to that. The risks, the danger, we understand. However, the danger and the risk of inaction is much greater. We are doing this work right now in a moment where silence has been happening for the past 6-7 months in a fake peace process where they killed more than 770 Palestinians, where they have violated the ceasefire agreement more than 2,073 times, where we just heard testimonies about the medical situation. There is no mistake about the needs in Palestine. There is no mistake about the humanitarian situation in Palestine, but it is a political question. And Israel is doing what they are doing because they are being enabled by governments, they are being allowed by European Union, they are being supported by the US. Our decision is to sail. Our decision is to mobilize on land while we have the land convoy. Our decision is to support the collective mobilizations everywhere. More than 500 mobilizations are going to happen collectively by the solidarity organizations around the world for this weekend of Al-Nakba. We will continue mobilizing. We will continue our solidarity side by side with the Palestinian people until their liberation. This is the only commitment that we are able to make. Nobody can define the outcome. We can define the continuity. Solidarity is a permanent act. Thank you.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine!
Can you hear us, Tiago?
Hey everyone. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes. We need it a little bit louder.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Javi, can you open the camera?
Okay. I'm going to speak then. I wish so much I was there with all of you. I cannot even describe how proud I am for being with all of you as part of this movement. The international movement that we are building, that we've been dreaming for so long, to fight against all forms of exploitation, oppression, and destruction of nature. In my opinion, is the most relevant act that we can do right now for humanity. We've been through a lot in our lives, in our activism, but nothing that we've been through even compares to what it is to live for 8 decades, genocide and ethnic cleansing, to see and live under an apartheid colonial state, and to live under the racism and supremacism that this racist ideology represents, Zionism. So it's very important for us to put things in their right scale. And we should not fear Donald Trump, his war criminal. We should not fear Benjamin Netanyahu, his war criminal as well, or Bezalel Smotrich, or Itamar Ben-Gvir, or all the others in the Zionist regime. And the system that they represent is way up beyond just individual figures. We need to understand that throughout history, in anti-colonial struggle, in the history of revolutions, the liberation movements in the countries and international solidarity that stood beside them always faced difficulties. And these difficulties actually, they do not decrease as they get closer to the end of these hateful regimes. They actually increase, because the violence of these regimes, they elevate when they are more and more isolated and they're more and more cornered. What we've seen in these last almost 3 years was a genuine global uprising. It was the beautiful action of a planet of 8 billion people, where the majority of these people understood that we've been fed lies all of our lives. That we were talking about isolated and small, naive, innocent country and people surrounded by hostile neighbors from a hostile different religion, and those were all lies. And people finally understood that. People finally understood that the Palestinians were actually living through genocide, through colonization. And it was beautiful to see that people understood that they also needed to take a stand, and they needed to mobilize. And this changed the history of the world. The bravery of the Palestinians in Gaza, live streaming their own genocide. The bravery of the civil defense workers, of the doctors, of the teachers, of the shelter workers, of the NGOs, of every person with their amazing Sumud, changed world history. And now billions of people know what imperialism is, what Zionism is. So we should not fear them. They can cause a huge amount of pain to each and every one of us. The Palestinian people, they've been causing so much pain, so much grief. When people say that I didn't have the right to say goodbye, to pay my respects to my deceased mother, we see that every single day in Palestinians, in their dungeons, where more than 9,000 Palestinians are, and almost 400 of them are children. So, yes, the Zionist regime, Israel has a great capacity to cause suffering on people, but they cannot stop the will of the people to be free, to have their self-determination, and to call for international solidarity and see who in the world would answer. And for a long time, the people of the world refused to understand and to answer, but not enough, not anymore. Today, we can see millions and millions mobilizing on the streets. We saw strikes, huge strikes now in Italy once again. We saw encampments, we saw demonstrations. Now we have huge demonstrations for the Nakba Day, for the Nakba Week. I'm here in Brazil right now, and the demonstrations are increasing severely. And we see in all countries here in Latin America, and we hear the updates from all the other countries. The world is rising up. And we need to continue this rise up until we defeat the greatest enemies of our generation. Like other generations in history that defeated the apartheid in South Africa, like other generations that defeated Nazism and fascism, we are the generation that will defeat imperialism and Zionism. Inspired and led by the Palestinian people, we understood the great calling that we have, and we will not stop until we achieve our final defeat. I'm so glad and so proud to be here, watching all of you in Marmaris, and watching all the votes being heard, and watching all the people in the streets preparing all the huge land mobilization that will follow through. We are together, my company. We will prevail. Thank you, a big hug, and let's transform this world.
be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. United will never be
give him the mic.
defeated.
Okay.
Let's say goodbye to him if he wants to.
Okay. Okay. You can continue. Javi, is the mic? Yes. Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah everyone. My name is Kotimo and I am a Rohingya from Myanmar. I am also living in Canada, so I have to, and I'm from the Canadian delegation, so I'll have a few words to say about how Canada is also enabling this, just like other European, Western European, and North American states are, or all over the world is. So why I'm here, what's happening to my people is not separate from what is happening to the Palestinians today. Starting from, the parallels are immense. If I start listing them, it's going to take all of this press conference time, but just a few points starting from the Nakba of 1948, where more than 500 Palestinian villages were eradicated. 750,000 people were driven out. Just in 2017, more than 400 villages, Rohingya villages, were fully or partially exterminated. 850,000 people were forced into the refugee camps of Bangladesh, with horrifying stories of gang rapes, children burned alive, people hacked to death. Just like how you have apartheid laws in Palestine, where people cannot go to school, people cannot move from one township to another in the West Bank, where Gazans, our brothers and sisters, have difficulty just going and fishing. Similarly, in Myanmar, the Rohingya are not allowed to pursue further education. They have to obtain passes to go from one village to another. People are scared to go and see doctors because they may be injected with something and they may die. Just like how we have informal settlements, or now very formal settlements that are even funded by the Canadian government and Canadian charities, that are eradicating Palestinian townships in the West Bank into little Bantustans. Similarly, we have what is called Natalas, which are settlers that are brought from other parts of Myanmar, extremist Buddhists, or from eastern Bangladesh to settle beside Rohingya villages and then take over Rohingya villages, slowly eradicating the Rohingya population. There were 2 million people not even 9 years ago in 2017 in Myanmar, 2 million Rohingya. We are not even 500,000 today, out of which about 150,000 live in IDP camps, which are akin to concentration camps where human trafficking boats are taking people into the Indian Ocean to go for a better future in Malaysia or Indonesia, but they are all perishing in the ocean, just like how Palestinians try and escape and they find themselves in the seas. So the parallels are immense. There are even articles, comes to my mind about articles that are written by extremist Buddhists or just, contributors in Myanmar newspapers talking about we need to learn from the Israelis on how to deal with the Muslim problem. So, and this is not just metaphoric, it is actually applied. The government of Myanmar, Myanmar's military Tamarao takes training from the Israelis. They take equipment. There were boats that were deployed in 2017 while people were crossing the river, escaping the genocide into Bangladesh. There were Israeli boats that were deployed to shoot at these people while they were running and crossing into Bangladesh, into that Taknaf River. Mass graves are everywhere, so the parallels are just immense. And now let me just take a moment about Canada, where I'm staying, and my contingent, which is my fellow Canadians. The place I live in Toronto, it is the occupied indigenous lands of Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and the Mississaugas. The genocide of the indigenous people is something that is well known. It's not to, we can have another full session on that. But starting from the residential schools where people were taken to entamer les sauvages, they would say, we are going to tame the savages, to forced sterilizations, to mass graves of indigenous children that were discovered not very long ago. So it's like, it's a reality of what Ghassan Kanafani once said, that the struggle for Palestinian liberation is not just for Palestinians, it's a struggle for all revolutionaries, for all oppressed peoples. And that is why I'm here. Palestine is the moral compass. The liberation of Palestine, the liberation of what we are learning, the brothers and sisters in Gaza, or people in Gaza are teaching the rest of the world the moral compass that's today. And the liberation of Palestine is the liberation of the Rohingya.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalia. I'm a lawyer. I come from the Amazon. The place where I come from is also an occupied indigenous land. There we face many struggles against occupiers. Nowadays we have, and I need to talk about this, a lawyer who is facing settlers against rural workers. She's been now arrested for 1 year just for being a lawyer for these people. And that's the struggle we face in every corner of the world. Being here is being facing with the same oppressor. And that's why we need to say that the law, international or domestic, they are in complicity. The people who are determining how the law should be followed, how the law should be accomplished, they are doing everything that is unlawful. So that is what we face in the whole world, in Amazonia, in Palestine, in the waters of the Mediterranean, in this war zone that is the whole Mediterranean that we face today. Now I'm here and I speak on the behalf of the Livable Coordination of the Global Sumud Flotilla, and we have a message, and a clear message. Our mission, it's lawful. We sail in lawful terms. The blockade, it's what is unlawful. Every attack, every seizure, abduction, act of torture, denial of counsel, or destruction in this mission will be held accountable. And that needs to be affirmed. Let us be precise. A blockade whose purpose, effect, is to starve a population is illegal, is unlawful, and should be prohibited. A blockade that operates as a collective punishment is unlawful. A blockade used as a part of a genocidal architecture cannot generate lawful enforcement powers against civilian humanitarian vessels. The flotilla, therefore, has the right to sail, the right of humanitarian passage, and the right not to be violently intercepted in international waters. Its participants that have the right not to be abducted, humiliated, tortured, arbitrarily detained, denied consular access, denied legal counsel, or forced to sign incriminating documents. Our legal strategy has 3 pillars: prevention, documentation, and persecution. First, prevention. We are placing states on the notice before further violation occurs. We are sending legal communications, diplomatic demands, and formal warnings. We are demanding port access, safe harbor, consular protection, flag state support, non-interference, and protection of the civilian humanitarian passage. To flag states, we say, your vessels are under your jurisdiction. So if they are attacked, your sovereignty is engaged. If If you don't act, you are an accomplice. To home state, we say, your nationals are not disposable. Engage in Israel for not interfering, protect your nationals. Prepare your consular protection now. To port and coastal states, we say, denying fuel, repair docking, medical support, or departure clearance under political pressure is not neutral. You are complicity of the genocide. And you are facilitating this unlawful blockade. To port, second, the documentation. Every participant is not only an activist, he's a witness and an agent of accountability. Every drone, every jammed communication, every intercepted vessel, every injury, every confiscated phone, every degrading treatment, every denial of counsel, every refusal by a state will be documented. We have already collected extensive witness testimonies and digital evidence of the last interception. This material for prosecutors, courts, human rights bodies, UN mechanisms, and international accountability processes. Third, persecution. Turkish legal action has already produced investigations, indictments, and arrest of personnel, including Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, Israel Katz, in relation to the previous attack. In Italy, complaints have been filed before one prosecutor concerning unlawful interception, kidnapping, and attacks in the international waters, and the wrong prosecutor has opened a criminal investigation. In Spain, proceedings have invoked unlawful detention, piracy, universal jurisdiction, Spanish nationality jurisdiction, and the jurisdiction of the Spanish flagged vessels. In Greece, Brazil, Sweden, Poland, the United Kingdom, Indonesia, South Africa, Ireland, Tunisia, and Poland, we have initiated legal procedures. In 20 more countries, we are preparing to initiate legal process only for the Israeli crimes against the mission in 2025. Urgent applications have also been pursued where participants face risk of tortures, transfer, or irreparable harm. The legal pathway before the International Criminal Court is clear. Attacks on the flotilla are not isolated maritime incidents. They are a form and part of a broader enforcement of the Gaza blockade and the obstruction of humanitarian relief in the context of the situation of Palestine. They are connected with the starvation framework already before international justice mechanism. This legal strategy also confronts the Board of Peace. Global Sumud Flotilla is the first practical test of the border of peace architecture. If the border were merely neutral humanitarian coordination mechanism, an unarmed civilian flotilla carrying aid to starving population would not be treated as a threat. Yet the board has already felt compelled to speak against GSF, while Israel and United States frame the flotilla as unauthorized and destabilizing, or outside approved channels. This discourse reveals the real function of the framework. To convert humanitarian access from a legal obligation is to foreign administrative permission regime. For this reason, we call the UN member states to request an advisory opinion from the International Court of Justice, or whether the Security Council may lawfully endorse foreign-dominated regimes that conditions humanitarian access, displace Palestinian self-determinations, fragments of the occupied Palestinian territories, and shields unlawful situation through the language of peace and reconstruction. The Security Council cannot permit to convert procedural authority into legal cover for alien domination and subjugation, nor function as the guardian of the reproducer of a colonial order under the vocabulary stabilization. Our legal work is institutional. This week, the Global Sumud Flotilla and the worldwide lawyers that we have in this mission association convened at International Legal Symposium at the Mugler University, consolidating their legal position in this mission with the following conclusion. Israel blockade is unlawful. Dismissal is lawful. Attacks on the fleet engage state responsibility, individual criminal responsibility, universal jurisdiction, ICC accountability, and the right to reparation. And no administrative body can lawfully convert humanitarian access into a permission structure, or use the language of stabilization and reconstruction to displace Palestinian self-determination. So our message today is both to notice and to demand. To states, protect your flags, protect your nationals, protect humanitarian passage, and do not assist on unlawful obstruction. You will be accomplice to genocide. To prosecutors, prepare to act. To international institutions, do not wait for more crimes to be recognized before recognizing that what's already in front of you. We are watching Israel, we are watching flag states, we are watching port states, we are watching home states. We are watching those who speak publicly of humanitarian concern while probably enable obstruction. The global Sumud Flotilla sails because government fails to enforce the law. From this moment forward, every act will be answered with law. Not later, not someday. Now, don't be accomplice of genocide. Thank you.
Thank you for reminding everyone again and again that we are not the people who should be criminalized, but the Zionist entity who is doing the whole time the same, and we have to witness a live-streamed genocide. I also want to mention our Tunisian comrades who are still detained in prison, and I wish that we could have sitting here together and also would be together tomorrow in our departure. We are still waiting for them, and we are in hope, we are in solidarity with them. Our hearts are with them. Right now, we are preparing for tomorrow, as you know. I'm thankful that everyone is joining with your support, with your interest here. I'm going to go a quick summary in Turkish so we can have an overview about what we were talking about. And then we can go on with the questions. Şimdi kısaca bir Türkçe tercüme yapacağım. İlk öncelikle İman El Mahlufi, doktor arkadaşımız, Gazze'deki istatistiklere dayalı olarak medikal durumdan bahsetti. Ve tam olarak da bu yüzden zaten bütün bedeniyle, bütün maddi manevi gücüyle aslında Doktor Gazze misyonunda gemide yer alacağından bahsetti. Kendisi buna izleyici kalmak istemediğinden ve bilhassa bir doktor olarak vicdani bir sorumluluk hissettiğinden bahsetti. Sonra Seyf aldı mikrofonu ve yarın yola çıkacağımızı ilan etmiş oldu. O esnada alkış koptu zaten. Teşekkür ediyoruz. Dün büyük bir genel kurul toplantımız oldu ve malum biliyorsunuz birkaç gün önce, yani 29'unu 30'una bağlayan gecesinde 180 arkadaşımız İsrail İşgal Kuvvetleri tarafından alıkonuldu, kaçırıldı. Tiago ve Seyit daha birkaç gün öncesine kadar hapishanedeydi. Onlar ikisi ayrıyetten götürüldü İsrail'e, Aşkelon'a. Geri kalan arkadaşlarımızı Girit'te karşılayarak bir kısmını İstanbul'a götürdük ve geri getirdik. Ve bu sürecin aslında her ne kadar zor olsa da Filistinlilerin aslında yaşamak zorunda kaldıkları şartlara bakacak olursak hiçbir şey oluyor oluşundan bahsetti. Sonra Tiago aldı. Çok sevindik aslında hepimiz onu görüyor oluşumuza. Malum annesini kaybetti hapishanedeyken, biliyorsunuz. Ve annemi kaybetmiş olsam bile benzer durumu Filistinlilerin gün be gün, an be an her daim yaşadığından bahsetti. Dolayısıyla bu noktada hepimizin her daim sesini yükseltip mobilizasyon çalışmalarına ve bilhassa kitleleri hareketlendirmeyle alakalı sivil bir istek ve inisiyatif noktasında ilerlememiz gerektiğinden bahsetti. Brezilya'nın ve Latin Amerika ülkelerinin bu noktada son birkaç gündür çok daha sesli oluşundan ve aslında buna seviniyor oluşundan bahsetti. Ve aslında tam olarak bu yüzden de devam etmemiz gerektiğinden bahsetti. Biz risklerin farkındayız. Seyf de bundan bahsetti. Nitekim son kaçırılma olayına odaklanacak olursak, İsrail'in şiddet noktasında her seferinde bir seviye daha yükseldiğini görüyoruz. Aramızda yaralananlar, taciz ve tecavüze uğrayanlar oldu. Ama biz tüm bu riskleri göze alarak yine de yolumuza devam ediyor oluşumuzdan bahsettik. Ve bu yüzden zaten genel kurul toplantımızı yaptık. Çünkü hiçbir şey yapmıyor olmanın riski çok daha ağır. Çok daha büyük bir sorumluluk aslında. Bu yüzden harekete geçmeliyiz. Bu yüzden durmamalıyız. Sonra Myanmar'dan gelen arkadaşımız aslında Filistin'le baktığımızda kaderlerinin ne kadar benziyor oluşundan bahsetti. Orada da bir soykırımın yaşanıyor oluşundan bahsetti. Ve Filistin noktasına odaklanacak olursak aslında Filistin'in bütün dünya adına küresel anlamda bir tik noktası, bir uyanış vesilesi olmasına da girdik. Çünkü Filistin sadece Filistin'e odaklanıyor oluşumuz anlamına gelmiyor. Bunun uluslararası bir problem oluşuna, Myanmar'da ve başka bir sürü daha ülkelerde benzer kaderlerinin yaşandığı ama Filistin vesilesiyle aslında keşke böyle olmasaydı ama yine de bu sayede insanların uyanabildiğini, uyanmaya başladığından bahsetti. Ve en son Natalya avukat olarak da bilhassa bu zamana kadar Sumud filosu adına da ortaya konulan hukuki çalışmalardan birkaç örnek verdi. Birçok ülke, Türkiye dahil olmak üzere buradaki GSF hukuk ekibimiz tarafından büyük destek gördüler. Geldikleri an yaralanan arkadaşlarımız ifadelerini verdiler. Adli tıp başvuruları yapıldı. Ve biz bunları İsrail'e karşı kullanıyoruz. Kullanmak zorundayız ve kullanmalıyız da. Bu noktada aslında bütün desteklere de açık oluşumuzu, maddi, manevi, hukuki, operasyonel, lojistik anlamda herkesin burada bir dirsek teması halinde oluşunu ve kendisinin de Amazonya'dan gelen birisi olarak yine benzer bir kaderi paylaşıyor oluşundan bahsetti. En sonunda ben Tunuslu arkadaşlarımızla beraber burada olmak istediğimden bahsettim. Hala 5 kişi hapishanede. 7 arkadaşımız hapishaneye götürülmüştü. 2 tane kadın arkadaşımız şu an serbest bırakıldılar ama hala 5 tane arkadaşımız hapishanede. Kalplerimiz onlarla en yakın zamanda kurtulmalarını diliyoruz. Hepinize çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Şimdi sorulara ilerleyebiliriz. So we have a question.
Sahip Bey konuşurken buradan 44 tekneyle yapacaklar.
54.
Öyle 54 ve 500. Ancak daha önceki haberlerde 38 tekne var. İki el ayağında Marmaris'ten katılan tekneler Afganistan'da. İkincisi kaç ülkeler Afganistan?
Doktor Abu Safiye.
Ve son olarak Türkiye Cumhuriyeti Devleti'nin ve Türk halkının kendilerine yaklaşımı nasıl değerlendiriyorlar?
نعرف ندى الجبور دكتور ندى الجبور Doctors Against Genocide.
Before I answer the question, thank you. I just need to make a quick announcement, which is really important for all the people who are sitting and watching, listening, and supposed to be on board tomorrow. You have to go now immediately to the immigration to pass your passport, to stamp your passports. I'm sorry. So you are the only one who didn't go to the immigration office. We need to have you there. Thank you.
ونحن برضو.
So the question was about the numbers of the boats. Safe announced the numbers of the boats. We have 54 boats. We had 37 who came from Crete and Yarapetka, our comrades. And now we have additionally here in Turkey 16 boats, so it makes 54.
Yes.
And including the 5 boats which are waiting in international waters of our comrades from the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. So that's the number. Then the next question was, Türkçe mi cevaplasaydım aslında ama siz tercüme ediyorsunuz. Okay, so the next question was about the support here in Turkey, how many numbers of nationalities we have. So we have many nationalities, more than 70 nationalities are included in our mission. We also have the support of our Turkish comrades here. I am one of the persons here. The Port Authority, the people power here. In logistical and operational terms, we have the support here, and that's the reason why we could host you here. We are happy and grateful as well that we had the opportunity to be together here in the last leg due to technical and logistical and operational needs. From now on, we will just sail towards Gaza, inshallah. Thank you. Next question. Okay.
Okay. Israel won't be able to commit this or the genocide without the complicity of many Western governments, including media. We've seen the boats go to Crete with kidnapped people in Greece border and leave with 2 kidnapped people and nobody said anything about it. So Israel is being protected by many Western governments. It's being protected by the media.
Yes.
Media is manufacturing consent for Israel to continue to do crimes, and also technology and governments. So yes, we're talking about the crimes that is done by Israel, but Israel is just one part of an equation that is committing the genocide. Is there anything GSF can do to expose media, technology companies, or even governments that are helping the genocide?
Okay.
We need the mic.
I think the work that GSF has to do is to align with all the other organizations and to make sure that the solidarity work is a collective process where we bring it. Definitely targeting complicity, not only at media and technology, all forms of complicity has to be one of our tasks. We have to find the best way to do it, how we can mobilize around it. We have right now the focus of the sailing, we have the focus of the Nakba activities, but this is an ongoing process. So the political complicity, the financial, the technological, the media are all on the agenda, and I totally agree, those are the ones that are enabling genocide. While Israel is committing genocide, it is being enabled by all those elements. So yes, we have to mobilize and do action against all of those.
Let's finish, it's too hot.
I hope that it's the last question.
And it's from participants.
My question would be very brief, very direct. It's to Mr. Saif. Are you considering to sail again after what happened to you?
I mean, the decision has nothing to do with like the kidnapping and what happened inside the Israeli prison. From the first moment, I have been always a land team. And I believe when we do things, we have to lead by example. We always continue saying that there is no privilege or priority or better contribution between sailing and staying at land. In the last mission, I have stayed supporting at land. On this mission, I am proudly staying to support at land. All our work is relevant, all our work is complementary, and we all are going in the same direction. Land, sea, we all mobilize for a free Palestine.
Maybe this is have already been said. It's related to our Rohingya comrade and Natalia's. Me as a Mexican, the biggest criticism that towards the Mexican delegation or participants is, why are you so worried about Gaza and Palestinian children, women and men, and don't worry about or fight for Mexico's struggles and problems which derive from colonialism, racism and violence? Why do you look to Gaza when Mexico has their own struggles? So what would you say to the world about why it's important for Global South citizens that have their own struggles in their own countries, like Mexico, to join global direct actions like this one, as opposed to worrying about just domestic struggles first?
I think she answers.
Thank you, Diego. As I said before, I come from the Amazon, also an occupied indigenous land. We have several struggles. I also am a part of the struggles there. But I think the reason that we look into the Palestinian struggle today is that is the historical task of our time. We are facing a televisionized genocide all around the world. And governments don't act. And governments are actually complicity. As the other person said before, he said, oh, we were intercepted in Greek waters. Yes, it was not in Greek territorial waters, but it was in complicity with the Greek government. So we are facing the Zionist domination all around the world. Where I come from, in Brazil, we have been watching settlers from Israel settling in Bahia. We look into our territory and we see Israeli flags. We see everything in Hebrew. So it's a global domination. It's not only happening in Palestine. It also happens in our own territories. The people, the land workers from my territory, from Rondônia, we have, I don't know how to call it in English, but it's those big war...
warships?
No, not warships, in lands that they
tanks?
Big war tanks that are being bought to face with the peasants, the poor peasants of my territory. So it is all connected. The struggles of the Palestinians, the weapons, the arms, everything that they treat Palestinians as a tested field for all the other poor people, oppressed people from all around the world. So in my territory, we also face the same struggles. So it is all connected. It's not only the global South people. We have the recognition of this struggle. We see the same struggles. When we look into the Palestinians, we see the same struggles as we see in our lands. But in this historical time that we look into the Palestinians and we see they are in the front line of everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. One more question.
Press.
If the press has any questions, we can have a last question. Basının son bir sorusu varsa son bir soru daha alabiliriz. Yoksa kapanışa geçiyoruz.
No, that's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's it. Thank you very much for your support. See you in Gaza, inshallah.
Thank you, Hannah.
I haven't heard about it.
Very good, and I would add also that question.
Como 27 en el movimiento.